It is hopeless for the occasional visitor to try to keep up with Chicago. She outgrows his prophecies faster than he can make them. She's always a novelty. Mark Twain wrote this some 140 years ago, and it still rings true today in Chicago. Hi, welcome to the American Dream, Selling Chicago. I am your host, Michaela Gordon, and today I'm going to show you the magnificent evolution of the Chicago River. So I don't know if you know the history of the river, but the last century and a half, it certainly did not look like this. For so many years, it was all industry. It was not something to be enjoyed. So many people just sort of like dealt with it, avoided it. There's even buildings where the first couple stories are all sort of brick with no windows so that no one had to smell or see the river. What like a wild transition from that to what it is now. And there's people literally using the river for enjoyment. Has that been like a shock to some of your clientele?
For sure. I think there's still a stigma around it. I hear people walking by and they're like, well, I'm not going to kayak on that river. What they don't realize is we've come a long way. The city has done a really amazing job of cleaning up the river, especially downtown on the main branch. I think there's still work that needs to be done, and we're always improving. But even over the last 3 decades, for example, in 1980, there were only about 10 species of fish that lived in the river. Now there's about 80 species of fish that live here. So that is just one thing to note there.
That's incredible. So it's not only being used for activity and kind of beautified, but it's also being cleaned and kind of restored back to its original state before we all came and created a bunch of industry.
You know, it's a process that obviously is going to take time, but we've definitely seen some big changes over the last decade or two, and it just makes it more accessible for everybody else to now use this area.
I'm so glad to have had a few minutes with you. I feel like you've got some customers even lining up, but it was so great to talk to you.
Absolutely.
Nice to
Great
see
to
you.
See you down here.
One of my favorite things about this city, and specifically the riverfront, is it goes from casual to luxury in just the switch of a shoe.
We're not done with the river yet. If the Chicago sun becomes a bit too much for you, there's always an oasis in the sky waiting to welcome you home. Welcome to the river from above. This is a 3-bed, 3.5-bath luxury condo at 403 North Wabash, the Rennell on the river. If there was ever a place to take a break from the city while being in the center, this deck would be one of them. Not bad for $1.8 million. Not a bad place to come home at the end of a busy day. From the ever-changing river to the architecture of Chicago, from the 1920s white terracotta Wrigley building to the 21st century jewel we stand in, the ever-changing and evolving Chicago is my American dream. Thank you for watching.